I used to think that there would be an end to the inner work, that one day I'd finally have myself all figured out, I'd be a better, improved version of myself, and life would be easy. But that's not how self-growth works. Self-growth is a lifelong process. And for a while, this depressed me because I really wanted there to be an end. But I think it was because I was expecting a perfected, complete version of myself. But now that I've let go of that expectation and I know that there is no end, I've learned to appreciate the process. I'm learning to meet every version of myself with more awareness, presence, and curiosity. So I want to share with you 4 truths about self-growth that I've learned along the way that have helped me to shift my mindset and enjoy the process. So the first and most important thing to acknowledge is that self-growth is non-linear. When I used to expect self-growth to be linear, it was a really frustrating and challenging experience. Because the thing is, self-growth is more like a spiral. So there's this point that you continue to pass as you keep moving out of the spiral. So every time you pass that point, you're revisiting the lesson, but each time you revisit it with more awareness, more insight, and also you're more detached. So this is how we actually apply what we've learned and integrate it. Because just because we've realized something, just because we've learned something, doesn't mean that it actually becomes a part of us. So I think that life continues to give us opportunities to apply what we've learned and make it a part of our lives. So understanding that self-growth is non-linear doesn't make the process any easier, but it does make it less frustrating, because when we think that it's linear, it feels like we need to have this smooth learning process, that we need to continue improving, and that we need to get it right at some point. And that's not how it works. So once we accept that self-growth is more like a spiral, then we're able to meet ourselves with more grace and be more compassionate towards ourselves as we continue to learn and grow. And in the past, when I would work through something, I would really isolate myself and try to work through it in private. I felt like whatever came up, I needed to work through it before I could get back to my life. But what I've learned is that there's no separation between the work and the living. Life will continue to throw lessons at you. You'll continue to learn things about yourself, things that you need to work on as you move through your relationships, your career, and other parts of your life. So what I've realized is that self-growth is life itself. There's no separation. And even if we're in a relationship, even if we're busy with our careers, even if we're occupied with our family lives or whatever it is, we will always have to grow and evolve through challenges. We will always have something to learn about ourselves. So I used to have this very heavy approach to doing the inner work, and realizing this has helped me to sort of lighten the mood when it comes to the inner work. It doesn't have to be this dark, heavy thing that I do alone. It's something that I can discuss with other people, that I can share, and that I can manage alongside the rest of my life. And I think that part of the reason why I wanted to do the inner work by myself, have everything figured out, and then return to my life is because I expected this perfected, completed version of myself. But the journey of self-growth has taught me that every version of myself is worthy of being seen, is worthy of being accepted. When we're really going through the inner work and we're in the thick of it, it can feel so messy and confusing and complicated. And I didn't like that version of myself. I didn't like not being able to define where I'm at and not have myself feel organized and complete. So I used to be embarrassed about these messy, unfinished parts of myself. But now I see that they're all a part of the process. There's no such thing as a final version of myself that has it all figured out and has nothing to work through anymore. I'm always in transition, I'm always learning, I'm always evolving, and I've learned that I don't need to wait for this fixed or healed version of myself to be able to live my life and to love myself. Self-growth isn't about becoming someone better. It's about being present for every version of you. And the last thing that I want to share with you is that self-growth isn't about becoming anything. So I used to think of self-growth and doing the inner work as this process of healing. And now I'm a little bit cautious when I use this word, because the word healed suggests that there is a complete, perfected state. And the problem with that is that it kept me in this mindset of continuing to strive for improvement and continuing to chase the next version of me. I wasn't able to pause and appreciate the evolution that I was experiencing. And I think that the author Paulo Coelho puts it best. He said, "Maybe the journey isn't so much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you, so you can be who you were meant to be in the first place." And this is what I experienced once I let go of this expectation of becoming a better version of myself. I started to grow in authenticity, because it stops being about becoming a version of yourself that you aren't today. It's about remembering who you are and who you always have been on the inside. So these are the 4 truths about self-growth that have helped me to make peace with the fact that this is forever, this is for life. Self-growth never ends. And because of that truth, now I'm able to be more present for my life. I've realized that I don't need to have it all figured out. I don't need to be complete. I just need to stay open and curious. And it's completely shifted my attitude towards my life, because now I see every moment, every challenge, every joy as an opportunity to learn about myself and to grow. And that's what makes the journey even more meaningful.